Hey, welcome back, guys. We're going on to our third podcast today. We're going to start off with some life updates, things that's been happening in our lives. Um, how about you, Ali? You played soccer yesterday. I remember
Yeah,
that. Did you get
yeah,
hurt or what happened?
yeah. A lot of injuries, of course. That's what happens when you get old.
Very old.
Very old. Yeah, I got a something happened with my muscle. It might be a cramp, might be a pulled muscle, and got injured by other means. I got elbowed in the nose. I got a couple other injuries that are not big deal or anything like that. But yeah,
Yeah, people say soccer isn't a physical sport, but you show
it's a
them.
very physical
It's
sport.
very physical.
It's very physical.
And they might also say that people are a little bit on the softer side. What do you have to say about that?
For what, soccer?
Well,
Like the people that play
obviously.
soccer are softer?
Yeah, it's a known fact, right?
Known fact.
I
Uh,
mean, I heard. I wouldn't say
Opinion.
personally. Yeah.
It's opinion.
Well,
Whatever.
stereotype.
I mean, it's just the shape, right? Football players are gonna be more 250 pounds, 6'5". Soccer players are gonna be like 160, my height, maybe a little taller, but they're not like extremely massive. So, like, might be the same coming from that.
They don't have like a tough build. It's more of like
Yeah,
a
because
athletic type of.
yeah, you need to be very athletic. You need to run
Yeah.
miles in a game. So
I
that
mean,
might be from that.
yeah. I also have a little story to tell. So yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday. Ooh, look at that Fairlife. How much grams
Oh
of
yeah,
protein is in there?
30.
30 grams, huh?
Yeah,
Straight down the hatch. All right, right now,
exactly.
chug it all the way down.
No,
No,
dude.
come on. You sound like a soccer player right now. Anyways, I had a little life story here. Oh, look at him. He's going. He's going. Chug, 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 chug. Okay, it's taking forever. ASMR with
Bro,
those
stop making
gulps
me
right
laugh.
there.
Might have to switch over to ASMR.
Oh, yeah. All right, anyways, let me get the story
Yeah,
out.
no,
I was driving on the freeway to my brother's house. I mow his lawns like every 2 weeks. And while I was driving, I had the lawnmower in the back of the truck like at a horizontal angle, so it was like kind of like side to side, and it slid over to where the bag, like I had the bag attached to the lawnmower still, and it slid over where the bag was like over the side of the truck, and I turned onto the on ramp of the freeway, and I was driving on, picked up some speed right away. The bag flew off, and this I was like, ah, shoot. There was like a brand new like Audi A4 behind me, and just absolutely like destroyed it. Like it didn't just it destroyed the bag, not the car, and it's like slammed right into the front of it. And like right away, I do my blinker, emergency lights on, whatever, hazard lights, and then I pull out, like get out of my car, run back to where he's parked at, and it's some like nice Indian guy, probably. Actually, yeah, this is a nice Indian guy. He like gets out with his daughter, and they're like checking underneath the car because they thought like it slid under there. And like finally, when I get there, I'm like, oh, it's in the front, the bag. And he like goes, picks it up, and I'm like, is there any damage? He's like, I mean, there's like some scratches, but keep in mind the scratch was like I don't know, it was pretty deep, and it was like I feel like this long, which I don't know, like 2 3 inches, and
uh,
it's like at the bottom. I'm like, ah, oh, shoot, like I'm gonna have to pay a lot of money for this, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get my insurance information, or like I'll give you some information. He's like, no, no, it's fine. It's a little tiny scratch at the bottom. He said, you're good to go. I'm like, are you sure? I can give you information just in case, like, if you find any more damage. And he's like, nah, you're good. So I like shook his hand, said thank you so much, and I took the bag, put it inside the car. But I was like, I felt so bad after that. I'm like, I just wrecked this guy's like brand new Audi. I put like, scratches on there. It's like kind of sucks. But I mean, at least he was
Brand
not.
new?
I mean, it was new. It was like sparkling. Maybe he got a
Damn, that
car
guy.
wash.
The guy was probably hurting on the inside.
He definitely
It
was.
was, it was, it was sad a little bit, but
But yeah,
yeah, keep going.
the I don't know. He didn't seem too upset. He was like casual about it the whole entire time, which I was surprised. I mean, that like made me think about like what would I do in that situation if someone somehow damaged like something of mine? Like, would I get upset and like right away try to like have them pay for it, or would I do the same thing? And, like, I don't really know. I think I'd probably try to get information like from the person and say like, oh, that's a pretty bad scratch. So it kind of like made me think about myself and like how I probably need to change about that, especially now since this happened to me. Like, if that happens, if I'm in his shoes later on in life, I'll probably think back on it and be like, you know what, it's fine, like type of thing. Well, I guess it depends on the damage and how kind the other person is to me.
Of
But
course.
yeah,
I mean, it all depends upon like how you see things. Of course, I don't know exactly how to act, but 'cause I haven't been in the situation.
right, yeah. I mean, you've never like damaged someone else's like did like a fender bender or something like that.
There was something like that, but it wasn't.
Anything? Yeah,
It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't anything close to that. It was like damage, but we got taken care of, and I had to pay either way. I had
yeah,
to pay cash, so I wasn't
yeah.
let go. But
See, that's what I thought was gonna
uh,
happen to me, but ended up getting off the hook easily. And when
yeah,
I got to my brother's house to mow the lawn, the the bag was absolutely like crumbled. Like the frame of it, it's like a metal frame. I was trying to unbend it, I couldn't budge it, but it was like completely like
yeah.
morphed. I'm like, oh shoot, like that probably caused so much damage to his car. But so I ended up not using the bag to mow his lawn. But yeah,
So you just normally the grass just goes out. You just let it go out.
well no, normally I put in the bag and dump it out, but this time I had no choice because the bag was broken. My dad ended up fixing it when I came home. He like used like a what's it called, crowbar.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. I mean, it's not that expensive or
yeah,
that big of a deal, but it's you could have done like pretty bad to the guy. It's good that
yeah.
he let you go. Pretty cool. I mean, I could talk about something that happened in my life. I mean, um, last couple of days I played soccer. I already mentioned that, but I'm actually excited that I was really excited to play soccer. The last couple of days, I got my wisdom teeth pulled out. Top two wisdom teeth pulled out. Um, some of those injuries are probably from malnutrition that I was playing soccer from. It was malnutrition, but you know, we all gotta go through it. Um, so maybe we should go into the direction of what kind of sports have we played in our lives?
Yeah.
What kind of
So,
sports have you played in your life?
kind of sports I've played.
Yeah.
So, with my frame, I feel like I should be playing like football and stuff, and a lot of people have like came up to me like football and rugby. They like tell me I should be like play some sports like that, but from a young age, I used to play in recess and like in elementary school and like play around with friends all the time, but my parents never let me play football like for school or like in clubs because they said, "Oh, you're gonna get dumb, you're gonna get concussions and stuff like that." So I never played football. Instead, I played basketball. I got decent at it in middle school. Played for my school. Got on the B team. So I guess I wasn't like anything spectacular, but I feel like I was a decent player. Like I was one of the best on B team, I'd say. And yeah, I played a lot during middle school. When I got to high school, I stopped playing sports because I got a little busy and I had a lot of homework for my charter school. Started working, so I turned into an adult. Had no time for games no more. But other than that, I feel like yeah, played a little basketball, football, and then mostly it. Recently, I've been getting into volleyball with my friends. We play like throughout the summer. We play every once in a while, but yeah, not really anything major. Never played any major sports like that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Volleyball is really interesting. Actually, I've
I feel like
played
it's really
here
healthy to play it.
healthy. Yeah, I've played here once. And ever since I moved, only once. Which like, I want to play more. I want to play all kinds of sports more. I miss like being more active or like going out, um, playing, you know, playing sports. It's really fun to play sports. I mean, I have experience with soccer. I played soccer my entire life, basically since I was like a child. I don't know, since 5, maybe a little older. My uncle actually raised me in soccer. Like he pushed me to play soccer pretty well. He built a he built me up to play soccer. He trained me. He built a team, um, with like a bunch of like the church, from his church. There was a bunch of kids that played soccer, and
He was the
um,
coach, right?
yeah, he was the coach.
He built a team around you. You can say
I
you're the main
guess.
player.
I mean,
You're like
yeah,
Ronaldo.
yeah. I had to be. I wasn't the number 7 though. I was the number 9.
Ah, you're number
But
one. That's what
number
you were.
one. But on the jersey it says
I know.
number
I'm
9.
kidding.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So we played against another Slavic team, which that Slavic team was called Euro, and they were good. Like they were good players. There's like kids. There's one I remember specifically, Tim guy. Tim, his name was Tim. He played really well. And they beat us twice. We played against their team. They beat us twice, and we beat every other team except for their team. Let me actually wait up. Let me move my mic a little bit.
Unprepared.
Yeah,
He
my
wasn't
bad.
ready for this.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly ready. All right. Yeah, I remember
Beautiful.
this guy from the opposite team. So he played soccer very well. He was really short though, and he had like small legs, but he ran pretty quick. The main thing I remember from playing is that when the last game we played against them, that we played against every single team 3 times, we destroyed everybody except for this team. Last time we played against them, we beat them by 1 point because of my goal, and they were so disappointed because that was like, that's like the last goal of this last game of the season. Sorry, and they were crying on the benches afterwards, and we were like so excited. Our team was so excited. Their team was crying on the benches. Like that was just like a deep memory that's always
Yeah.
gonna be there, which is
Wait, I have a
crazy.
question
It
with
was
that.
funny. Yeah, what's up?
Whenever you guys like when you lost against them the first time, did you like cry at all? Like, or in any
No,
sports, have you ever cried after losing like that?
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
not sports. Like you gotta like, you're like disappointing. Like damn,
Yeah. I
yo, we gotta
remember
play better.
I remember in 8th grade, we were like one of the best teams in our for our 8th grade basketball B team. We were one of the best B team teams in our district. I think that's what it's called. And we played against a team. It was like super close the whole entire time. And we got into overtime, and the last like 5 seconds, the other team passed it in, and the kid shot from like half court and banked in the 3-pointer, and we like we all lost by a buzzer beater. It was so like
Yeah,
disappointing, and some kids like started crying. Some kid picked up the basketball, threw it on the floor super hard, and then like smacked it away, and then the refs like, hey, we don't do that here, like pick up the ball and hand it to me like nicely or respectfully. And I just remember a lot of people are crying. Like, what do you think about that, like in sports? Is that, should people be that passionate? Like, do you think that's
um,
good to be that passionate, or is that just being like childish or immature in a way?
immature. It's definitely immature. Like at one point, like you grow up, you're like, yo, oh, why would I be? I can't change anything about it. Like, why am I being pissed about it or something like that? Why am I mad?
Well, then you can.
I never acted like I never cried. I never acted. I was like, you're mad. You're mad when you lose. You're like,
Right.
how did we lose? What are we doing? Like, and then that's the only emotion that I could remember when we lose. Just mad and I want to go
Disappointment.
home. I want to get out of here. Yeah, like, disappointment. Like I want to get out of here. I want to go home. I don't want to look at these people.
Yeah, I think the
That's
only
basically it.
time I guess like crying. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people as like emotion are different and stuff, but I feel like the only time you should cry from a sport or like losing is when it affects you like on a like the professionals. Like obviously you're, like they're gonna be more invested in it. It's their job. Like they care about it a lot, and if they lose, they might feel like emotional or cry. But like when you're doing club sports or like I don't know for playing for a school, like I don't know, man. Like why cry about it? Be disappointed and trying to improve, but I think crying, yeah, just shows that you're like more weak. You got to be still level-headed and control yourself. Cuz like if you're going to cry right after a game, you're not going to be able to control your emotions during the game, and like you're going to let that get the best of you and play like I guess not at your best level.
Actually, about that, there was this kid the other day when I played soccer. Actually, yesterday, um, he saw my Ukrainian thing,
Pendant.
pendant, and then he saw my shirt. Like
Mhm.
it had a pendant on. Had a sigil or the Ukrainian
Though,
tried it.
yeah.
Yeah, it had it on there too, and he's like thinks he thinks that he's funny, you know. And he's like, "Oh, you played in Russia? You played in Russia?" You know, like starts poking at me. I just absolutely ignored him, like he wasn't there. I just like was looking at the ball,
Just being
you
immature.
know. Yeah, it's just being immature. I was like, dude, I don't care. Like I didn't even glance at him once. I like he probably like I don't know what was going on in his head at that moment, but I think he was being embarrassed. Like I was embarrassing him like that by not giving him the attention of day.
Right.
Yeah. That's just funny. It's just funny to me how they act. Like they think they're just so funny by like poking. Like I don't care. Like grow up.
Yeah, I just feel like that's like those jokes aren't like being creative at all. It's just like simple pokes that are like obvious, and it's like, oh, that's gonna be funny, and it's really not random stuff. But yeah, with sports, I think it's pretty much it. Yeah, we just play for fun, play with friends, just random stuff. Spike ball, there's volleyball. We just do a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, I never
And
tried
you
spike ball
haven't played
actually. I
spike
really
ball?
want to try it. Yeah,
It's so
Eric
fun.
has it. We should actually do it
We'll probably play. Well,
if it happens. If it
yeah, I don't know because we also have. Anyways, yeah. Eh, Another sport, I mean, questionable sport, I guess you can say, that I've gotten into recently is hunting. I don't know if people consider that a sport. I mean, it is. It takes skill to build
uh,
up the like it's a skill to shoot and like aim correctly, and you still have to hike when you hunt and do a bunch of physical activity. I guess hunting has you just chill and wait for like something to pop up, but I feel like it's still physical. Anyways,
so you
yeah.
don't think what's the point of hunting? Because I know some people have like different points of hunting. They go out into the nature, you know, to have fun and just like breathe nature, walk around. Some people just go for the meat, because
Mhm.
they want a deer, or some people just want to kill something like deer's like, oh, I want to show people that I can, I'm good at hunting.
It's a
What's your
guess.
point for going?
Um. Well, shoot, I don't know. To be honest, like I don't think I'm necessarily going to get the meat. It's cool to like have meat and eat it because like you're the one that went out there and got it, and it's like a
Provider.
feeling of what?
Provider.
Yeah, provider. It's a feeling of
Provider.
like success and like you can provide for yourself, yeah, and for your family. So that's a good way to think about it. But the thing is, I'm able to go to the store. I have the money to buy it myself, and like I have the opportunity like to go to the store and buy meat. Like that's not a problem for me. So I wouldn't say necessarily going hunting is something for like it's not the reason I go is not to get meat. Like it's cool the taste of meat and it's probably healthier, but I think I go for yeah, I think the sport it's like exciting for me to I guess shit, I don't want to say it's exciting to kill because that kind of sounds like
Exciting to try
creepy.
new things. You could say exciting to
Maybe,
try new things.
but I think it's just learning a new skill and being able to, I guess, aim. Cause, shoot, I don't know.
That's
Maybe
a
I am
very
a
big.
maniac. I love
Nah.
to kill.
Yo, chill.
uh,
In
but
GTA. In GTA.
yeah,
Of course.
I'm a calm person. It just
Yeah.
hunting is a manly thing to do, and when my testosterone was raging, I love to do manly things like go out and hunt.
Nice. All right. So if anybody's watching, that's how you become a man.
You go hunting?
Yeah. You become a man.
Yeah. How do you? What are your thoughts on hunting? Have
My
you ever even
thoughts.
went?
I went. not with the point of hunting. We went camping, and I woke up to turkeys running behind the tent. They're like running around, and so I knew that my friend um, had a gun, and I picked it up. It was a 22, and I went and I shot it. I shot three actually, turkeys.
100% accuracy.
Yeah, I hit him every single time, but not in like the head or anything, because the head's like bubbles around. But
I don't think you're supposed to shoot
it's
the
in
head.
body. Yeah, you can't like you
Like,
have to you
keep
have to
on
shoot
running.
them multiple times. You have to shoot them multiple times, like 3 times each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys end up taking them home or something, or just leave them
Yeah,
out there?
yeah. No, we took it home. The meat is a little drier than chicken. Like it's drier. It's just
More gamey.
more rough. Yeah, it's a little more rough. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like darker and like
I
more
mean, it's a
rough.
turkey.
Yeah,
I think
it's
people
turkey.
know what turkey tastes like.
I guess, yeah. But this was wild turkey. I guess.
Mmm.
Wild turkey.
It's a wild turkey.
Exactly.
Shoot, yeah. I think the only time I went hunting was for dove, and the first time I ever I went like target shooting with like target practice shooting with shotguns before, like when they throw the plates up in the air and you just like
Yeah.
try to track and shoot it. And so I had a little bit of practice, but when I went dove hunting, the first one I ever tried, I got him, and then after that, I think I missed like 20 in a row. Like I
Nice.
was missing so much. It's like you just got to get used to it, but
Dude, I wanna go do that.
it's so
Like
fun.
I see it in the movies or like the TV shows all the time. Like whenever they pull up in England or like any of the UK, like if something's going on in the UK, they always have that. Always in the movies.
What do you mean?
Like I'm watching like a show that has something about the UK. There's always gonna be a scene where they're throwing the thing and like you're shooting a shotgun. At it.
Oh, like the old like
The little disc.
old UK scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the old guys, like like dressed up in like what
The
is it called?
plaid and
Plaid, yeah.
plaid
And, like
clothes.
pull out like holding a shotgun like this,
Yeah.
Like, it's like I think it looks.
Yeah,
a little
I see
cool.
what you mean. Like I've definitely
Yeah.
seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking about hunting, are you done with the conversation or?
Oh, go ahead. You lead
Go
this.
ahead. All right. Speaking about hunting, I'm very good at hunting for the right cryptocurrencies to buy. I'm very good at
Mm.
that. Yes. Crypto is a massive topic actually right now. It's a very growing industry, you could say.
It's dumping right now, that's for sure.
It's,
It's not growing, it's dropping.
it's collapsing, huh?
Yeah.
Collapsing on itself. Um, Cryptocurrency is very diverse. It's very big. There's a lot of things to it as well. Like what are the pictures? NFTs.
NFTs.
That's a massive market by itself. Like cryptocurrency has grown to be massive over the years.
Yeah. With NFTs, I don't know if do you want to talk about how
No.
we were thinking about creating one?
Oh, we
Alright.
could talk about how we were thinking about creating one. Of
Well, yeah,
course.
so we have one being like we finished a lot of it, let's say that. I think wait, we did. We finished the whole project, right?
We finished the project.
Yeah.
But it was just wrong timing.
Yeah, and we were working on it for say a couple months. I don't know. We were like on and off with it. We would go get motivated, do it, and then kind of stop. But when we like completely finished up, that's when the like cryptocurrency market first started dropping, and we're like, shoot, I don't think it's even worth it. People aren't gonna be interested in like anything with NFTs, especially with like ours doesn't necessarily have a meaning to it. It just literally photos and like a funny idea, and because like
Yeah.
now people are creating NFTs with meaning. Like there's what's it called? Snoop Dogg is making some NFT project. He might have already made it, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, his NFT projects is gonna be something with songs. So he's gonna have like songs. People can buy
Like
the song
royalty?
and then something like that. Like people can buy like the NFT of the song and they're gonna own his song pretty much that he's released.
Own the whole song or like part of it?
Shit, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I heard that they're gonna have something like that.
Mm. Well, I mean, like a lot of people's done it. Like Logan Paul, he's
Yeah,
put
his
royalties on his all of his companies probably.
90 like
Prime, he probably
originals
put
99
royalties.
or whatever it is.
Yeah,
99 originals. That's what it's called.
yeah. It's very popular as well. A lot of people know about it. It's probably the
Yeah.
biggest one.
Who's?
Cause I never heard about Snoop Dogg. Logan Paul's. I never heard
I wouldn't
about
say
Snoop
it's the
Dogg's.
biggest one. There's no way. Cause
Promoters like YouTube and like stuff like
oh,
people
the
that are
like
promoted
biggest
like that.
influencer that's doing it.
Yeah, influencer type of thing where like they go into the market like changing something or like doing something with it. You know?
Yeah.
Not like we're not
It
talking about
actually
like, what's
has
the
value
biggest
to
one.
it. His
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah.
what he had one where whoever buys it can like goes on to the next podcast. Like that's like has some value to it. And I think that was his most valuable one. They sold for like 300 Ethereum, I think. I don't remember. It was something high
It was
though.
a lot. It was like
And
300,000.
he also had a couple where like it would be like 1% of Prime royalties, and his other he has a couple
Boxing
companies.
fights.
Yeah,
Yeah, boxing.
there's a
fights.
bunch of like cool ideas that he had in that one, and then he had some where he's just like complete useless pictures in
Crashed.
there.
Yeah.
Just a bunch
Yeah.
of biddies.
Say that.
Huh?
So, I mean, yeah. So, so, do you know much about cryptocurrencies? We're talking specifically about, you know, cryptos, not NFTs at this moment. Do you know anything about any projects that you like at the moment?
Well, a good project that it sounds promising. We've discussed it a lot in our family. A lot of our family owns it. It's Ripple.
Ripple.
I know you know a lot
The
about
big
Ripple.
one. Oh, I love the Ripple.
The Ripple effect,
I
huh?
love the Ripple. It's amazing.
You started the Ripple effect.
I did.
You
start
said
the
something,
Ripple effect.
and everyone in our family bought it, except me.
Yup.
I'm the only one. Just kidding. Well, I didn't buy it, but a lot of people got it in our family.
Yeah. The reason why I think everybody loves Ripple is because they know that like you can't really stop the government from pushing big moves onto the people. So they're like, oh, why don't we just use the government, like what the government's gonna do, and we just make money off of them, you know? Because there's it's a long story, but you could search up ISO 2022 or 222, no, 20,022. 20022, whatever. It's a big, very big project to move money into cryptocurrency.
Said ISO
Transfer money.
2022.
No, it's you could say that, but it's this right there. It's 20,022. But
Okay.
it doesn't matter. Like it's basically you search up any of those, it's gonna pop up. But yeah, people are like, we can't change what the government's gonna do. Why don't we just make money off of it? And so this is a very big like promising one for the government to accept because it's been everywhere, like on every single website, like World Economic Forums. It's been on everywhere. It's been everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why everybody loves it. But you know, there's like the basic, you know, Bitcoin, gold. You know, they compare it to gold. They compare Ethereum to silver. You know,
Do you see
I
a
like-
future for Bitcoin?
I have no space to speak about it, but
Right.
but it's still
I
gonna
mean,
be
just
there. It's
talk
still
about
gonna
it.
be there. Yeah, like it's like I'm a nobody to speak about Bitcoin.
We're
But
nobody to
it's
speak
still gonna
about
be there.
everything, but
Exactly.
it's our opinion. Like honestly,
Yeah, but I just wanted to state that right before
Okay.
I said
oh
it
now you're
because
gonna talk.
I don't
trash.
want it.
Go ahead, go.
I don't want it. I don't want. I don't want to.
Bold claim.
Out of it.
I'm starting off
I'm
with
gonna
this.
get
Bitcoin. Bitcoin's gonna be
Okay.
at $0 or like less than a cent within 2 years.
No,
This is gonna be taken over by Ripple.
I completely disagree.
No, Ripple's gonna take over. They're gonna be the number
It's
one.
gonna take over, but Bitcoin's not gonna be dead. It's not gonna
It's-
die just because
They're-
Ripple.
it's gonna kill
is
everything.
making money.
Every single
It can't.
cryptocurrency is gonna be gone except Ripple.
Are you like talking because just for talk, or are you like
Dude, I'm serious.
You serious?
Ripples is where it's at.
I could tell you're joking, but we could, you know, Ethereum, it's a good idea. Ethereum's a good idea, but it just doesn't work. Like it took them way too long to implement their update. They just now got it updated, like many years late. You know, it just doesn't look.
What was the update?
To take it off of graphics cards. I forgot the specific. There was a specific word they use. I will search. They use nodes. So they used to use nodes for communication, like Bitcoin. So they used graphics card or different kind of processors that specifically are made to work out the mathematics specifically for Bitcoin. And so they took it off. They were working to make it inside of the actual crypto itself, and people can use their crypto to stake it instead of using processing power for the movement of coins to make it cheaper.
Yeah. Well,
I will search up the exact word right now. Can you give it a few seconds?
Yeah, I got
you. Speak on something.
Well, yeah, because I know with Bitcoin itself, the processing fee, I think that's what it's called, is way higher. And I remember we once talked about it. I personally know way less than Alec about any cryptocurrency stuff and how it works. I just know like the basics of it. And I know that Bitcoin has a very high, like, is it called the transfer fee, Alec?
Yeah, it's a
it's
gas
very
fee,
expensive. Gas fee. And compared to Ripple, it's way higher. And that's why I think. You got it?
Yeah. No, sorry.
You can pull up. I'm just.
Okay, so I found the word. I just wasn't in crypto for a couple of days and just skipped my mind. But Ethereum was proof of work, and so is Bitcoin right now. Ripple is proof of work actually as well, but they don't get paid for working. So it's like banks will put up their like computers like as collateral, or because like they need it to work. Right? They need Ripple to work, so they'll put their computers up to run it. But Bitcoin takes a fee, and it takes a lot of electricity, and that's why it takes a massive fee. And during some parts of the day, it would cost like $300 to send a certain amount of Bitcoin, which is insane. That's a massive gas fee. That's more than driving your car for a whole month to move some money. Like banks don't want to use such expensive
tactics or currencies.
Proof of work. They would rather use proof of stake or the way that Ripple is doing, XRP is doing it at the moment. It's incredibly cheap for Ripple to move money.
Yeah.
It's one of the cheapest and one of the fastest ways to do it, for sure.
Well, realistically, look how I said Bitcoin's going to be gone and everything like that. Obviously, I was joking. The reason why I think it's going to stick around, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, is because they were one of the first, like Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency that like popped off. So that's why it's going to stay around. It's like the oldest one and most well known. Unless with time it might get like outdated and people won't use it, so they'll just like think of it as history. But I think it's gonna stay around for a while still, just because it was like one of the first ones.
Yeah, and it's like
the legacy.
It's all of cryptocurrency basically.
Yeah.
Like when people think about cryptocurrency, automatically what pops in the head, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's the biggest one by far. Like there's nothing comparing to it. Like it has billions of dollars. It's bigger than many countries. I believe so, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get fact checked on that. It's bigger than a couple of countries, at least.
The like coin market cap. Is that what you're talking about? How it's bigger than
The market cap, yeah. It's like talking about how much
I mean, it's definitely
how much
high,
a
like
country
larger than a lot of countries' GDP,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
like or like the
Yeah.
entire GDP.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's what I'm talking about.
do you think like there's gonna be a cryptocurrency that will take over all currencies in the world and just like be like a one world currency? Do you think that's possible?
As a crypto or just as a currency?
We can
Like you just
start with.
said,
Okay, do you think there will be a currency that will like be used? Like, there's only
well,
one currency and it'll be used by everyone. Do you
I
think that's
don't know.
possible?
Cuz if we're going to speak about the Bible cuz we know a little bit about the Bible, it says that it will be, but I think it just might be translated differently cuz you never know.
Like a one world order type of thing.
Yeah, it could be like one world. Yeah, that's what I'm speaking about. One world order type of thing. I don't completely agree, or not agree. I don't believe that it's specifically how it's written down. I believe it's more of like how you understand it, uh, because some people understand it as it's written down. Like there will be a one world currency, but in reality, it could be like one world exchange currency. It could be anything because that's the main currency because everybody's gonna be using it to exchange or something like that. It could be anything, but let's try to stick away from the Bible. Let's think
Hold
about
up. Why don't you
economics
want to
and
do that?
because we're thinking about logically based on down here without using books or anything, just
Controversial
thinking about,
things.
yeah,
'Cause some
controversial
people
thing. Let's
don't
use
agree with that.
logic.
Yeah.
Let's use logic. Um,
I think that's
countries
the
need.
healthiest. You go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
What was it?
I was gonna say.
Countries. This is so funny. All right,
I
how
was
about you
gonna.
speak first? Speak first. Yeah.
Actually, nah.
Yeah. Speak
Okay.
first.
Um, I was gonna say that for I feel like the healthiest thing for our world economy would be a one world currency. It would be like the best for, like, I guess you can say like even conflicts because I feel like the world would be closer together if we had like one currency and everything. But I think that's why it's not like gonna happen. It's because there's always gonna be conflicts, and I feel like one country is gonna not want to use like the same currency, and they're gonna say no, I want to be away from these people and stuff like that. But I feel
Okay.
like that's the best thing that can happen in our world.
With your view, it's like the way that you explain it. You could also put it in a different view. Like, it'd be better if everybody spoke the same language. It'd be
You're
better
right.
if everybody was this religion. It would be better if everybody understood everybody. I don't think it's gonna happen because it's just not morally like people are not gonna submit. People don't submit. People don't submit to anything. Uh,
Too much conflict and
yeah, too
pride.
much conflict. Yeah, exactly. Um, and also that's where countries' strengths are, right? Like USA, its strength is the dollar. Like it
Hmm.
controls the entire world because it is the economy of the world. Not a, I don't mean it
It's a huge
literally.
part of it.
It's a huge part of the economy. Like China without America would be nowhere.
And vice versa in a way, because
Vice
China's
versa,
also.
yeah, yeah.
I feel
But
like America
no,
and China.
China's way more reliant on the U.S. than
Yeah.
the U.S. is on China. So we can't even speak about China. There's a lot of bad stuff going up in China. Their growth rate, everything is just going so bad for China at the moment. But the U.S. is still scared from China, which
They
at
have
the moment
potential.
they should be. They have potential.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I think they peaked.
Maybe. We don't know.
I believe they peaked. I
We don't know
believe
what the
they're just
future
gonna
has to
keep going
hold.
down from it. Yeah, no, I just believe they peaked, but
Hmm.
who knows? But yeah, for a one currency to evolve, it would have to like totally dominate the entire space. It would have to take over oil. It'd have to take over gold. It'd have to take over silver.
Uranium.
It'd have to take over everything, which is many countries like control all of these assets. It would just be very difficult to put it all together.
Yeah.
Unless there would be like a one world order, or,
Right.
then it would be make it much easier.
I think. Well, like bringing it back to the crypto thing, there, if we do have a one world currency, it can't be a currency that's like already created by a country. Like we couldn't use the U.S. dollar because not
Yeah.
every country would be on par with it. I feel like the only way we could do it is with the crypto, or like sort of new currency as will be created, because everyone will have like, I guess, like it won't be one country's currency that everyone is using. It's gonna be like the
Uh-huh.
world's. Like I feel like
Where
that's
where they can
necessary.
control where the government can't control supply.
Right. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like with crypto, the government or like a higher power won't be able to control all the transactions. So I think if we do switch to that, it's gonna have to be controlled by the people or controlled by no one. I think that's the best way.
Or a central government. It depends how we go into this currency. If the people force it on the governments, then the people will have control. But if the government forces it on the people, then the government will have control.
Yeah.
Like, of this one world.
Do you think any of the current cryptocurrencies have potential to be that?
No, no,
No.
definitely not.
It's gonna have to be a
It
futuristic
has
thing.
nothing to do with that. It doesn't have to be. Cryptocurrency is not that hard to make. Like, somebody could create a XRP if they really wanted to, something very similar. If they put enough brain power into it,
Yeah.
it's just what gets enforced. What has already movement behind it. It's like XRP. Why is it gonna be a transfer currency or like exchange currency? I believe because their company, Ripple company, is working with a bunch of governments and a bunch of banks. So they have already connections that will put them into the spot, but I don't see any currency that can take over like that. Like, there's just none of them are connected like that.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I got about that question.
I mean, what other like cryptocurrencies do you own? Is it
I
only XRP?
I own a lot of XRP. I own. Shoot, my brain just went absolutely blank. Um, I own Bitcoin and Ethereum for sure. I own a little bit of each. I own a Anchor Protocol. Anchor Protocol.
Beats me.
I completely blanked. I will search it up, but I own a lot of these little ones, small
Yeah.
cap. Like, they're not really like they're not that big to talk about at the moment because the market is crashing. You really buy up any um, solid companies in the market right now. The um, top probably
Traded.
like 10 will probably survive because they just have a lot of money in them already. They're not really gonna die out because they have billions of dollars in them already. So, like, if we're talking about BNB, Binance Coin, there's a massive company behind it, and it's an exchange tool on their exchange platform. If we're talking about Cardano, I have Cardano, I have Solana, I have Polygon, I have Polkadot. I have a couple of those, but it's not that big amounts of them. Um, there's a couple more. I believe I have a little bit of Avalanche and Chainlink. I have Stellar. I have a solid amount of Stellar as well. So, and Quant.
Yeah.
But it's those other ones that I spoke before. They're minuscule. I have Stellar, Quant, XRP, and then Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the main ones, that I'm currently holding. That I think that are gonna survive this.
And have futures.
That could at least survive this bear market.
I know. I feel like right now is a good time to just like consistently buy like little portions at a time, because it's got to come back eventually. I think it will. It always has. It like takes a few months and then it shoots back up to a new max. But yeah, right now just buy every single week. My advice, my very smart advice. I'm very experienced. Is to buy small percentage of your paycheck every single week, and then it'll continue to go down for now, but eventually all that volume you have in it will make you money back. But yeah, I personally don't have any cryptocurrency because I'm a smart person and staying away from it.
Good guy.
It's risky.
It's very risky, of course.
Another risky thing. You want to finish it for me? Stocks,
Stocks. There it
especially right
is.
now, they both crypto and stocks fell like crazy.
Yeah. Well, the economy fell like crazy.
Yeah, it's
Everything
all
fell,
tied
like
together.
oil fell like oil actually went up. I'm tripping. Oil is the current mover of the economy at the moment. I think oil. Wait, U.S. dollar is backed by oil. Um, so I mean, U.S. dollar is not is I think the strongest currency actually at the moment. It's holding strong
Blishta,
compared to any other currency. What's up?
blishta. Get
This
closer to
shit?
your mic.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the US dollar is currently the strongest one. That's why the US economy hasn't completely collapsed is because, the US is the biggest country, they
yeah, and they keep on printing more money for them to
Yep,
get bailed out.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Jerome Powell, good man.
Jerome
Um
Powell, no idea who
yeah.
that is.
Jerome Powell is you know who Jerome Powell? I've told you many times about Jerome Powell. He puts the percentage rates on interest. He brings up points. Just search him up.
Search him up.
Just takes 2 seconds. Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell.
Oh yeah, I've seen this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know about this guy. He's you just forgot his name probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not even that rich. He only has 55 million net worth.
Yeah. I mean, he controls.
He's irrelevant. I don't even want to talk about him.
He probably controls the entire world, but not literally. But he controls the money of the United States money, so he can decide. It can decide countries' downfalls.
Yeah.
He decides their downfall, or if we're going up or if we're going down. He's he got the remote for the roller coaster.
He controls the. At Chevron, how like you can control the gas prices and stuff. The people have the remotes. That's pretty much what he has.
Bing, 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 bing. Bring it up, bring it down. Yeah. So, his stock's a scam.
Stocks?
I know that you do a lot more stocks than crypto. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I mean, stocks, it's not necessarily a friendly thing for consumers, I'd say. I think consumers are used, like people that buy the stocks, like small, everyday people, not like those
Retailers.
hedge funds.
So like
yeah.
small, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
I
we're not
feel
talking
like
about
they're
whales.
used.
We're talking about small. Yep.
They're obviously used like as pawns. Like companies need them, so they sell their stocks, get their money, get people support, and I mean that's how it works. And you put in that risk, you can either make money, get lucky, or lose it. But sometimes I think it's a scam because like websites like Robinhood, they always intervene and I feel like mess with the market just so like huge hedge funds don't lose money. That's why I think it's kind of a scam. And also companies that like decide to go private or like they have like yeah companies that decide to go private or if they sell their company to a different company and they buy it and they decide to go private, the people that own that stock have no choice but they have to sell it. And I think that's kind of messed up. Like if you're in the hole in that stock, you don't have the opportunity to like wait it out and maybe for it to go back up. You just lose all that money. So I feel like you're on the as a small like consumer person, you're on the unlucky side of it or like you're getting used. That's why I kind of think about
You're
it.
the last person to know anything.
Or like they care about.
Yeah, exactly. You're like way past their cares. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a scam. I think there are scams in the stock market. Uh, but it's the movement of money. I mean, the stock market is massive. It has billions of dollars. Like they don't really look at you and like, yo, I want you to make money. They don't care. The market is gonna move whether you like it or not. Whether it's good for you or bad for you, you just need to pick a side that's winning.
Yeah.
You just need to pick a side that's winning, and it's probably not gonna be what you think it's gonna be. at the beginning. If you're a new person into it, it's probably not gonna be what you think it's gonna be. Um, because the market moves like almost opposite of what you want.
Yeah,
Like
it's always down. I
it's
feel
always
like
down.
you invest,
Yeah.
maybe a couple days or a couple weeks it goes up and then drops like crazy, and then you're like, shoot, that kind of sucks. Don't look at my account. Maybe eventually it'll come back up. But you got to be smart with it as well. You put in the
Yeah.
money that you don't care about. It's like something that you're comfortable losing. You always have to go
Yeah.
with that mentality because you never know what's gonna happen. And
What about people with 401ks? You know, their money is still in the stock market. That's how people. That's how companies always have support. It's because there's I believe every single day there's a new addition to the 401k. Like there's somebody adding on to the 401k because they're either getting a new job, they turn 18, or something like that. There's always additions to the 401k. That's how the companies keep moving. That's how companies keep getting support because either a company is running their 401k or the person is like, oh, let's invest in this company or whatever. Um, it's just a big circle.
yeah,
You put your money in, you lose money, and then you put your money back in again, and then you lose money again. It is what it is.
I mean,
And like the bankers just sit
some
there like
people win, some
counting your
people
money.
lose.
Yeah, the
That's
bankers are counting your
50%
money.
of people gain money and 50% lose. That's how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
with every,
actually, 50% of the money makes money.
okay, yeah,
50%
that's
of the
what I'm
money,
saying. Yeah, that's what I meant.
lose money. So like, so the what are those
Smart
called? The
people,
massive companies.
whales. Oh, hedge funds.
Whales. Yeah, like the what is it called? Dude, I keep forgetting words. It's the companies that literally move stocks for a living. Um,
Oh,
Finance companies, whatever.
yeah.
Finance companies. They have a ton of money, so they move markets, and they need to make money. That's their job. That's the whole point of their company, to make money.
And
You
scam
well,
people
yeah, exactly. Like, who are you?
or
You're just a
help
person that
people.
wants a little money. You're just a person that wants a little money.
Yeah.
They don't care about you. They
Wolf
the
of
only
Wall
thing they
Street.
care about is
It's a
making
prime
money.
example of it.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I personally don't know anything about stocks, but you could speak about like what stocks you think are gonna go up maybe in a little
Yeah.
bit, or
Here, let me pull up my portfolio real quick, see what I own. I obviously own the basics, like I own Meta. I feel like that's like a huge company that's destined to keep on growing. Like they have a bunch of plans and they have I'd say a smart CEO. Controversial, but he's smart. He's a cool guy. I also own
he's something, all right. He's
yeah.
something.
He's creative.
Reptile creative.
Reptile.
Whatever.
Yeah, I also
Have you
own
not seen
Micron.
those memes?
Yeah, he's an alien.
Yeah,
That's what everyone
yeah,
says. He looks a
yeah.
little
That's funny.
whack. He's like all the time his eyes are super
Yeah.
wide. And it's like
There
yeah.
was a new video actually I saw about it, which made him look fine. I actually think it was what was the fight? Who's Dana White? He reserved. Dana White made a fight specifically for him, and it was
Oh,
his whole family there, only his family, and there was people fighting
from
in the
Mark
ring, and it
Zuckerberg.
was Mark Zuckerberg. He was
Like
him and his wife. His wife was like, "Oh,
he set
scared,"
up
and
a whole entire event.
cheering. Yeah, he was like an event just for him. I don't know if it was like publicized or anything like that, but
Mm.
I saw videos of it. So like it made him look human. Like he looked human. So I mean, he was like cheering on like someone getting beat up.
I mean, it's
That's
not
very
hard to
human
act.
to me. I mean that sounds very human to me. I
I
don't know.
guess. You know who Patty Pimblett is?
No, I don't.
Patty the Batty. He's one of the new.
So
He's like a up and coming UFC fighter. He's been like really popular.
I've heard about it.
You've heard,
I've
yeah.
seen a couple pictures.
He
About it.
after one of his fights, he called out Mark Zuckerberg to fight in the UFC, like fight in a match
Yeah.
with him because his Instagram account got banned. He's like, "Hey, Mark Zuckerberg," like in this weird like Irish
Yeah.
accent or something. He
Yeah.
said, "Beat me in the octagon, like your company's garbage." Locking my account and like I don't know, it was funny that he like just called at him out like that. But also Logan Paul called him out as well. Patty to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty popular guy right now. Um, Also,
Yeah.
yeah. So back to the stocks.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Back to stocks.
I got Micron as well, which is do you know what Micron is? Have you heard of that?
Mike, I've heard about it. Yeah. I've
They
heard
make
about it.
what are they called?
Microchips.
Microchips, yeah. And it's like a company from where I'm from, Boise. It's like one of the biggest companies here, and they're building a new chip factory in like a headquarters here in Boise. So it's gonna be like a big thing over here. A lot of people are moving in to work for the company, and America has like we haven't been making chips for a very long time, and I feel like that's been kind of detrimental to us, and that's why we had the like chip shortage during COVID. So now I think companies have realized that
More
they need to start
reason.
making, yeah, so they're building.
And it's not only companies, it's the government too. They're
Government
like,
is
oh,
funding it.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had like they had a huge
Massive
check from the government, the
farm,
Micron.
yeah.
I remember researching it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I invested in that because I think it's going to go up eventually. I just have a
So
bunch
does
of
Nvidia, I believe, and AMD. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
completely sure on that, but I know that the government provided money for companies to build semiconductor factories here because it's all in what's called Taiwan. All of them are in Taiwan, and they can't risk China having a hold of the entire market. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on Micron. Do you have anything else?
There's a bunch of like weird like tech companies. I have psychedelic companies. You know
Psychedelic.
how yeah, weed
Okay.
weed had a huge boom a couple years
Did
ago.
it?
And yeah, there's a bunch of like weed companies that absolutely blew up in the stock market as well. So I'm hoping I invest early, choose the right companies, and then maybe psychedelics will become legal in the near future, and I'm gonna profit off of that. But it's
Yay,
definitely
drugs.
yeah.
No,
Personally,
I'm
I
joking.
don't want to
Do
do
not
anything.
take that out of. Yeah, that was
But
completely
once they
joking.
become legal, take it so I can get money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
I'm
anyways,
hoping that it becomes legal. Make money, make your bread.
make your
All
bread.
right. Yep.
Stocks.
Speaking
That's
of
about it.
stocks, yeah. Speaking about blowing up, what's going on in Ukraine at the moment?
What an interesting segue, but what is happening?
I think it was
Obviously, there's a
good
huge
segue.
war.
I think it was a good segue. All right.
Transition. Yeah.
I know that your dad knows a lot about this,
Bro, my dad.
so I think
all
he
he
hear
talks
about it a lot.
Yeah, all he
So
talks
you
about is
hear
the
about it a
war.
lot, yeah.
The thing is,
That's
his views is very one-sided. It's obviously in support of Ukraine. A little background about us: we probably know we've discussed this in previous episodes that we are from Ukrainian descent. I'm like both my parents were from Ukraine. They moved here in like 1995 to America, and I was raised here, but like it was completely a Ukrainian culture household. And maybe give a little background
yeah.
about yourself.
My mom's Ukrainian. My dad's a mix of a lot of stuff, but we still have the Slavic
Genes.
genes. So
Background,
yeah, but I'm mostly Ukraine. A lot of my genes are from Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
speaking about your dad,
speaking about my dad.
yeah,
Where are you going
that
with
he
that?
knows a lot about Ukraine. No, not me. You
Oh,
were
okay.
speaking about your dad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go first of all to like kind of like more of a background. So like, do you have any family that's currently living in Ukraine or like somewhere in the Eastern Europe spot or like kind of included in the
You're
war?
asking me.
Yeah, I'm
Dude,
actually curious. I don't know that.
me?
Yeah, I don't know if
I
there's
mean, we have
anyone.
the same family.
No, because from our side that we're related to, I don't think there's that many people that live there. At least I
I
personally know.
know. I don't know anybody personally from there,
Okay.
but I do know that somebody used to live in Crimea. I know that
It's very
somebody used to
distant
live in Crimea.
relatives that live
It
there
was.
still.
It
Yeah.
wasn't close relatives. It was very distant. I have relatives living in Russia, I believe. They moved out from Moldova and went to Russia.
Probably not like included in the conflict at all though.
Yeah, probably. But the thing is, I'm completely not sure because they could be
Okay.
back to Moldova by now. Uh, because there's three sisters and one of them might have moved out, which I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
Moldova's still close to the conflict.
Yeah.
It's neighbors with Ukraine.
I was just curious because I didn't know like specifically where your family from your dad's side is from, like where they live. But from my mom's side of the family, I have grandparents that live in Novolinsk. It's on the western side, so it's kind of away from the war currently. But at one point, like I think Belarus was partnered with Russia, and they were like coming from the northern side down or something, and a couple of like missiles would hit in towns near their town, so they had like stories about that, and they like feel like the shaking of the ground because they're right next to Poland, their city, and they would hear like for hours on end like equipment coming from Poland to help like aid Ukraine. So they had like a bunch of equipments coming from Poland, and they like send it over to the east side. Because I don't know if you know this, but Ukraine. So you know how I think it's called the Treaty of Versailles, where like a bunch of countries like Russia, America promised that they would never attack Ukraine.
Was that the Treaty of? That was the Treaty of Budapest.
Oh shoot, Versailles is something completely different. I think. Treaty of Budapest, that's called.
I believe it was either treaty or something in Budapest.
It's Budapest. I don't know why I said Versailles. That's a whole different thing. But
Budapest Memorandum. That's what it's called.
So Ukraine had a bunch of like nukes from Russia, and they made that agreement. And in the agreement, like Russia had to say they would never attack Ukraine, or like any countries would not be able to attack Ukraine, and if they do, they'd help aid them and defend them. And Ukraine gave all the nukes back to Russia, but obviously that's not happening right now. Russia's attacking Ukraine, and also, in a way, America kind of led that on by pushing their ideas and beliefs onto them and trying to make them join the UK. I don't know specifically everything about that, but
you mean Europe?
Yeah.
The EU.
EU, sorry, not the UK.
Yeah. But the thing that I know, I mean, do you think the U.S. was pushing, what's it called? What did you say they were pushing?
Their ideology.
Culture? Ideology.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a push from Ukraine to
I
adopt
think
the ideology?
Ukraine still wanted it. Like, it's more promising that like their economy wasn't the best under
when they were partnered with Russia.
Yeah, I think they saw how much better all the Western civilizations the economy was after like turning to democracy, so they probably wanted to try the same thing out. Like they definitely wanted it, and that's why Russia kind of felt threatened, and they now are attacking. And I believe that Putin, that's his like only option is to attack, and if he can't lose. In his head, if he loses, that's like pretty much game over, because that's a war right on their border, and that's so embarrassing if like a world power they're considered to be at one point loses to a bordering country that's way weaker.
Bordering country, do you think that makes a big difference if it's bordering?
I think so, because they're right next to it. They have all their supplies right at their at their hands, so they're able to push it. Because if it's like overseas, it's so much harder, and it's like whatever, we didn't put in the effort. But right here, you kind of have to put in the effort. It's right next to you.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think that U.S. took control of Iraq in how many days? 3 days?
I have no idea.
Wait, am I talking?
They were fighting for a while over there.
In Iraq, what? Dude, am I tripping? But yeah, U.S. did very well in seizing, like in one big sweep in a Middle Eastern country. I will actually search up which country it is. But we're talking about a different war. We're talking about Afghanistan right now.
Which one are you talking about? Iraq? Because they killed a lot of people no matter what, I'm pretty sure, in the Middle East, in every single conflict.
Yo, I I thought I had a memory of it, but it completely slipped my mind, so I don't know what I'm talking about at this
Yeah.
point. But yeah, I mean, if they show that they're weak to America, it's like America's not gonna be taking their threats seriously. It's like U.S. is gonna be like, okay, you said you were gonna do something, you couldn't even
The
take
thing
control
is,
of
they have
Ukraine.
nukes. That's the only threat they necessarily have right now, and
Yeah,
that's
but
pretty scary.
still, it makes them look weak. Putin doesn't want to look weak.
Right, and that's why he's. This is a like no matter what he has to win type of situation.
So why is there only like 20% of U.S. I mean, Russia's strength or Russia's power being used for the war? It's like not even 50% of materials like tanks and like guns, people. Why are they not putting more effort into it if they really want to take over? Because Russia's massive military compared to Ukraine. Like if they used all like
Yeah,
fifty
Ukraine.
percent,
Ukraine didn't even have a military. They had
yeah,
like the people and stuff, but like going back on the treaty, that's what I was gonna say. The Budapest thingy. Once they made that agreement, they stopped making any like or a lot of their war stuff. They stopped making it because they're like, oh, well, no one's gonna attack us, and we have a bunch of allies. So what's the point? So they stopped like spending money on their military, and they had like no war supplies. So they, without the help of like Poland and all the other countries aiding them right now, they would have already lost. But the thing is, they have a bunch of money coming in and supplies, so they're able to hold it. And sorry, what was your question? Oh, why Russia's not doing the whole entire thing?
why aren't they putting more effort into it? If they're trying to avoid embarrassment or avoid
I
like
I feel
looking
like a
weak.
lot of their supplies are outdated, and it's probably a bunch of it's like broken, and they don't have. I don't know, like, yeah, why aren't they using it? They
I
might
don't.
have a secret plan.
Is there a reason? Because Russia's massive compared to Ukraine. It's insane. They spend billions upon billions of dollars more than Ukraine
I
will in
think
the next years in 1 year.
the Russian generals
It's
are not
insane.
smart. That's why.
They have a very different way of fighting.
It
I
just,
think Ukraine is being taught by U.S.
yeah,
and UK and European Union. They were being taught. Soldiers were being taught
like
continuously by them.
they were getting like real like war tactics that
Yeah,
work out, but Russia just send
especially
all their
for their
troops in.
strength. Yep,
Yeah,
guerrilla warfare. They were being taught specifically how to use that.
or just like mass, just like just throw everyone out there and just like, oh, maybe if we use these people as a shield, we'll eventually like take over. I mean, it was working for a while, but then in Ukraine they pushed in, somehow got enclosed and trapped, and they just got pushed back because they don't have any like good war tactics or like setups. They're just a bunch of teenagers in Russia that are confused and were just sent to this
Yeah,
work. They don't even know what
yeah,
they're doing.
yeah. So, do you think that there's a chance that Ukraine can hold off for a couple more years? Months. Let's say till 2024. So they need to last. Let's not even say to 2024. Let's say
I
till
think
next
they
summer.
will.
Till next summer.
I think that they're gonna just be held at a stand front or a standstill, and eventually, Russia will take over. I think some part of Ukraine, but I think they're not gonna be able to take the whole entire thing, and they're gonna just make some type of agreement, say, okay, let's stop fighting, and we'll leave it at this. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean that's
Do you
probably the
think?
safest thing because if Russia takes over Ukraine, that's gonna suck as well. Cause you don't know what's gonna happen after. But also, if they completely lose, then I feel like there's the threat of nukes happening as well.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a way that Russia loses without nukes?
If
If Putin, okay, if Putin dies, there's obviously a way. But if Putin
yeah,
doesn't die, he's still in control. Do you think there's a way?
I think then, I mean, if they don't have any
Based
funding,
based on him, as you know, because I believe you know a lot about him. He's a dictator.
yeah,
He's been a dictator for a while. He has all control and not all control. He has
He has
a
a huge
good amount of
amount.
control. He has a huge
Yeah.
amount. But there's also oligarchs that have, control, and they
Nah.
want their money back. Based on all of the information that you know, do you think
Oligarchs
there's
are
a way? Just
pawns.
yes or no. Just or no.
I think that they can hold it. Like they won't be able to take over Ukraine, especially if there's funding still
No,
coming in.
I'm not asking if Ukraine can hold it. I'm asking if there's a way that Russia loses without using nukes. Is there a way that Russia loses without using nukes?
I mean, if Ukraine wins, then Russia obviously loses, right?
Yeah, but then the
That's what I
nukes come
said
in,
then.
right?
Right. So
But
I
is
think
there a
that's
way without nukes?
I only if it's an agreement. Like I don't
Agreement?
think they like take over completely. I don't see that happening though. I just see
No.
like them making an agreement and Russia taking a couple acres of land or whatever they have.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
there's also shoot. I don't know if you saw this. I mean, you probably saw how like Elon Musk is giving like free Wi-Fi using his Starlink.
Was it free?
I think. Well, yeah,
Satellite
I think he's giving like this like what is it called? Starlink satellite, right?
control to the military, right?
Oh, is it? I thought he was
Or
giving
or
it to the
people? Do you
I
know?
think it's
It
giving
was
to
it to the
everyone
people?
because
To everyone?
Russia had hackers and stuff that like shut down Ukraine's power and Wi-Fi stuff.
Yeah.
So
Internet.
he aided them by giving them the free Wi-Fi and
Yeah. I heard about that. Yes.
Starlink. Yeah.
It was a while ago though. It was like months ago, month or two ago.
Yeah, it was a while, but I saw an article was posted yesterday, and it says that he's
Will
gonna be
it says it will keep funding.
yeah, it claims it
Ukraine
would cost
Starlink
more than
service.
120 million for the rest of the year, so he's gonna be just spending a lot of money into that.
That's
I think that's-
insane. Why is he doing that?
I think he just well,
Is it for
the-
wait? Does it say specifically what it's for? Because if it's for citizens, I understand. Like it looks good on him. It's good for the company.
yeah,
It's
I think that's why
completely
he's doing
only
it
good.
mainly.
Yeah, like
I mean,
there's no
actually,
bad side to it.
Elon Musk is like a lot of the stuff he does isn't for his company or for money. He does it because he like genuinely cares about the future of people, and I think he wants like he finds this evil what is happening in Ukraine, so he's just trying to help. I think. That's
Yeah,
how
what
he
it
is.
says. I'm reading this right now. He says that we'll just keep funding Ukraine government for free.
Oh, so just the government.
So they're funding $120 million to the Ukraine government. Well, Ukrainian government has control, right? Like it's like asking for service provider. Your phone just doesn't automatically have service, right? Ukraine probably like provide like access or whatever to the network, but that's insane. Cause like they're not like if it's in Ukraine only, there's service. Like the Russians would have service too, right? But it's
Mhm.
only Ukrainians that have service.
I mean, yeah, he just uses the power of satellites.
Yeah.
and
So-
directs it.
But that's incredible. That it's crazy how everybody came in to help.
Yeah, even
Everybody came in to help.
shoot, what were
And
the
like the
companies
Budapest memorandum, like even though it was broken, but the thing is, U.S. could have done more. They could have put a stronger stance on Russia, put a little more force on Russia before anything happened. It was like
yeah, they just all they
it
did was
was-
sanctions.
yeah, and it's not only like are you asking for like soldiers? I don't know if I'm asking for soldiers. I just want leadership to push back on Russia. Like tell Russia, yo, or like be very
Well, how are they
strict
supposed to
about
do
it.
that? They did that with sanctions. That's the only thing. Because that's the
Sanctions,
safest
they
thing.
could send some armies into Lithuania or
So you
into
want them to
Finland.
send soldiers?
Not inside of Russia. I want them to like show that like
Defend.
we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
U.S. could have said we're ready for
The
anything.
problem with that is it shows that they're in like immediate war with Russia.
Danger.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just
they're
it means that's it again. So
I
that's, like,
understand, but right,
it
Russia's
just shows
not,
that it
Russia's
just
not
shows,
the main country.
Yeah, it doesn't look good on America that they said that they would protect Ukraine and then they didn't. And now they're like Russia's just doing what they want pretty much.
Like I understand if like Russia did it to U.S. because U.S. has many times stronger army. Like if Russia would send soldiers to like Mexico, or, like put them right like next to the border, I understand like this would be like a big deal. But if US sent it into partnering countries, part of the EU, it's like, we're ready. We knew you were gonna do something like this, just hold back. Like there's stuff that could have gone differently. Like, there's
Yeah.
stuff that people could have done differently. It's common sense, like something could have stopped it. But, you can't really stop anything now. So
Yeah. I mean, I think we covered a lot today.
we covered a good amount today. We talked about stocks, talked about crypto, we talked about sports, we talked about the war currently going on in Ukraine. That's a lot of topics. I think the next podcast will be interesting. We'll
Yeah,
have
we actually have a. We're gonna be together for the first time. Hopefully, this works out.
hopefully it works out.
Yeah, we're going to California for a family thing, and we might have a guest on. We'll tell a little bit more about that later when we get closer to that. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, listening wherever you guys are at. Peace.